Welcome to the in-depth Kayn guide. I'm your host, Kibitzer, and this is how you choose your items on Kayn. And at the end of the video, I will teach you some lesser-known Kayn mechanics and facts. Without further ado, let's get into it.
The shadows find everyone.
So, you want to learn how to pick your items when playing the best champ in the game? Look no further. So let's start with the most difficult of the two, Red Kayn. First, Bruiser. Rune page. First, stop building Eclipse.
It's time to stop.
You don't need it. Just stop. Oh, but it has percent max HP. You're playing Red Kayn. Your Q and ult have max HP damage. You do not need more. Instead, you want to go Voltaic, because assuming you don't fucking whiff, you can guarantee a W. That's your first item. Boots are either going to be steel caps or mercs. Rarely, sometimes, swifties are okay if they have a lot of slows but not a lot of CC. 90% of the time, your second item will be Spear Shojin. A lot of people still go Cleaver, but it's so shit you don't need it unless they have like 3 armor stackers, like a comp with Rammus, Full Armor Malphite, and Sejuani. Otherwise, Cleaver's pretty useless. It's very rare though that you need it. Some champions on the enemy team might make you think you need Cleaver, but you still need to go Shojin, such as Galio, Cho'Gath, Alawi, Jarvan, and Maokai. Basically, any champ that isn't 100% armor. Red Kayn has percent max health damage on Q and R, so versus HP stackers, being able to cast your Q more with the 25 basic ability haste from Shojin is way more valuable than the single target armor shred. Even if they build 1 or 2 items that have armor, you're Red Kayn. You don't care about that little armor. You'll outsustain them and outdamage them most likely in any fight. So far, we've got Voltaic and Spear. Next item, Grudge. But another option is Death Stance if you really need your LP bad. If you get Death Stance, get Grudge next. If you get Grudge, get Death Stance next. Next item, if you need MR, get Spirit Visage, or if you need more armor, get something like either Frozen Heart or Randuin's Omen. Randuin's Omen is so sleeper, by the way. It's one of my favorite items on Red Kayn. When playing this build, you can play for either frontlining for your AD carry, or mid, depending on who's fed, or you can play for picks because you still have the same damage. Here's the full build path for Bruiser Red Kayn. Second build. Go this when you're against 3 or more low armor melee champions like Lee Sin, Yasuo, and Neferi. Runes, this. Boots is either played as steel caps or mercs. For build, go Hubris, Axiomark. Then, if you're snowballing, delay your armor pen till 4th item and fit in a Serpent's Fang if they have a lot of shields. If they don't, get Edge of Night if you need that. Or you could probably go Opportunity. Then, depending on what you build third, get either Grudge or one of the earlier examples. So you've got Grudge third because you're even with the enemy team. Get Edge of Night or Serpents. Basically, your core items are Hubris, Axiom, Grudge, and then rounded out with other items you see fit, such as Serpents, Edge of Night. If you don't need any of those, get Opportunity. Stuff like that. I like slotting in a Spear of Shojin, very last item, because it lets you do more damage and it gives you a little bit more HP, and the up to 12% extra damage is really nice. So that's the only non-lethality item I would add to this build. But another lethality item is perfectly valid in the last slot as well. Here's the full build path for lethality Red Kayn. This wraps up the Red Kayn portion of the video. On to the blue builds. Blue Kayn. First things first, the runes. Second, this first build is the best build for smurfing and you know you're going to get 100% fed. Like, you look at their team comp, it's absolutely perfect for Blue Kayn, and you know that no matter what, you're going to get a lot of kills. First, Hubris. Great item for snowballing. I love this item. It's so addicting watching those stacks go up and up and up. Second, Axiomark. I love this item because you get your ultimate more often. Who doesn't love that, especially on Blue Kayn? It's an amazing 2-item combo. Infinitely scaling AD when you get kills, and when you get a kill, reset your ult. Just as in lethality Red Kayn, get Grudge third. Unless you're snowballing, then pick up Edge of Night, Serpents, whatever you need in the third slot, to then delay your pen until 4th item, which is when you would get Grudge. I made an entire video on Serpent's Fang, which will be linked here in the description. 4th item, like stated, Serpents or Edge of Night. Last, rounded out with an Opportunity or something of the sort. Some people like going with Guardian Angel if you have a massive shutdown, but whenever I play with it, I always end up dying in a bad spot and just get killed twice. Probably operator error, but I don't like it. But it definitely is an option if you are comfortable with that item. Here's the entire build path for the first Kayn build. Second Blue Kayn build, same rune page as the previous one. When to go this build? This build you go when either A, you need Serpent's Fang as a second item, B, you have a bad game between picking up Serrated Dirk and your call fields for Hubris and won't be able to stack Hubris as much as you want to. C, you have Serrated Dirk and base with exactly 1800 gold. So, Anyway, first item, Ghost Blade. Second is either, as mentioned earlier, Serpent or Edge of Night, depending on what you need. And third, go Grudge. Fourth, you go either Edge of Night if you didn't get it earlier, or Aximark. Fifth, Guardian Angel, Boots, and for this build, it's Ionian Boots. Here's the full build path for the second option. For builds, this is not the be-all end-all for Kayn builds, and this should be used as just a baseline to get you started. You should try to learn what items are good versus the champs you're facing so you can make your own builds as well. Itemizing properly isn't that hard if you take a little bit of time to think about it. If you have any questions, make sure to join my Discord and I will gladly answer them. Now, the tips and tricks. So, how does Kayn form work? Yeah, we know. You get form from hitting champs, you get red or blue depending on if they're melee and range. What if I told you it was more complicated than that? Here's how it works. If you're out of combat for 70 seconds, Kayn receives 0.8 orbs a second into a proverbial bucket. When you go into combat, you get 1 orb per hit normally, but depending on how many orbs are in your bucket, you will get an additional orb per hit until you empty the bucket. So basically, if you have 30 orbs in your bucket and you hit someone 60 times, you're going to get the 60 orbs for hitting it and then the other 30 that were in the bucket. So you'll get 90 orbs in total. This is why after you make your first gank and you have a skirmish, you get a good like 25 to 40% orbs, right? Even if it wasn't all too big of a fight. Then you take Scuttle, and let's say you have another skirmish, and it's longer than the one you had after your gank. Then you only get a fraction of the form. Well, this is why. Huge shout out to Psychopathic Poro for making this so a dumbass like me could understand it and explain it. He has a really good Kayn top guide video. Go check it out if you're interested. Another thing a lot of people don't seem to understand about Kayn E is where the orb shows up, right? People think it shows up where Kayn is in the wall. So, according to everyone, when Cassante looks and he sees the orb, he would think Kayn's right here. Here's how it actually works. Look at this. The way it works is it is the shortest distance between enemy champion and Kayn. So it's just a straight line between these two. It does not show you where Kayn is. It shows, because if Cassante is hugging the wall right here, it just goes like this. Now, if Cassante was over here, the orb would show up here. That's how Kayn E works. So when playing top lane in these side walls, or just playing in jungle and you're escaping in these side walls, it looks like a bug abuse if the enemy's hugging the wall chasing you, right? And you walk over here, you double back, and you go back up towards the little alcove over here. It will look like you're bug abusing, when in reality, you're just using Kayn E in the way it works. So keep that in mind next time you're trying to pull off an escape, because it really does work. Another thing is that I still don't understand how Fog of War in these walls work, but like I'm pretty sure if the Kayn moves like a little bit over to the side, Cassante wouldn't be able to see him even if he's standing like on top of the wall. So just know that there's a really good chance that they won't see like jack shit of you if you walk into this wall a little bit more. That wraps up the video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world and I really do appreciate it. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and join the Discord, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.